Hey mama, today I am giving a little bit of advice to my breastfeeding moms on things to look for as time goes on. These are things I wish I knew about during the breastfeeding years. So if you've landed on this video, this is part of a 4-part video series helping moms feel more comfortable using herbal medicine during the breastfeeding years. Video 1, we talked about herbal safety and how to know an herb is safe for you. Number 2, we talked about the 7 favorite botanicals during the breastfeeding years. The 3rd video was frequently asked questions. And here we are in the 4th video on my advice to new moms who are breastfeeding. So if we haven't met, I'm Tara Gregorio. I'm a certified women's herbal educator with Dr. Aviva Ram, and I'm a mama of twins. And on this channel, we talk about natural remedies for women and children's health. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of my new video each Tuesday. I also have a freebie for you, the postpartum recovery checklist, the ultimate postpartum recovery checklist. It is all the things I wish I had when I had my twins in 2013. So go ahead, grab that below after watching this video. So we're going to talk about 7 things I wish I knew about after having twins, after having children, put it that way. So this could be any birth. You see, sometimes postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression, or I want to say often, we don't know we have it until years later. And this happened to me as well. I was confused. I didn't know what was happening. So if you're struggling with insomnia or sleep deprivation, which is so common during the breastfeeding years, eventually that leads into anxiety and or depression. So even if it's years later, 2 years later, you may get a little depressed after when you stop breastfeeding. So just keep that in mind, that sometimes it's the cessation of breastfeeding, when you stop breastfeeding, when anxiety and depression kick in. And I want you to feel comfortable reaching out for help. So do not struggle. Do not wait. Number 1, insomnia. So if everybody else is sleeping and you're awake, that's a sign of insomnia. Now your body may just be feeling that the baby's gonna wake up and you're waiting to breastfeed, and it's super uncomfortable, I know. But there's steps you can take now to help soothe this anxiety and stress so that when you are sleep deprived, your body does not struggle as much. So it's really hard, right? It's forever changing. Your children are forever changing. So every month something changes, the sleep cycle, your baby's needs, your body is all over the place, and we tend to reach for caffeine to help us keep going, but try not to do that because that could also lead to anxiety at night and the inability to fall asleep. So insomnia is the number 1 symptom I want you to keep track of to see if it's affecting your body the next day. And if it is, try not to reach for the caffeine. Try to nourish your body and begin asking for help. So watch this video on postpartum adrenal fatigue, where I go over the symptoms we experience postpartum due to sleep deprivation and what you can do about it. Number 2, if you notice you're yelling, you're screaming, you're crying, it's too much, right? The body is too much. Motherhood is too much. So what can we do about that? My girlfriend used to say she was riding the waves of the hormones. So there's hormones when you're breastfeeding, everything might be okay. And then when you stop breastfeeding, it could be like a tidal wave coming. So I want you to just be aware of it. If there's yelling, there's screaming, crying, that those are signs, those are screams for help. So it doesn't mean you need medication, although it does help some women, but how can you nourish your body? How can you begin asking for help? Because that will be really the best steps you can take to healing yourself and taking care of your children. Number 3, trouble breathing or shortness of breath. So I hear this in your voice when I speak to you. It's like an inability to take a deep breath, and that could be a sign of low vitamin D. or just plain exhaustion, but you may want to have, or iron levels, I should say, you may want to have your iron levels and vitamin D levels checked, and vitamin B. You can look at the supplement video that I created as well, the top supplements that moms need postpartum, and then see if you need to add in some vitamins and minerals, particularly before you get pregnant again. You do want to nourish your body first so that the next pregnancy, your child has the best health possible. You want to nourish your body now before going forward. Number 4, sad. Moms will say that there's like a cloud hanging over their head. It could be baby blues. They don't feel like it's depression yet, but it might be little sparks of depression. And when you're done breastfeeding, that can turn into something called PMDD, which is really bad PMS. So this morphs into other things. It never just goes away. So we have to address it now. So if you're feeling sad or the baby blues, make sure you start incorporating the herbal teas I suggested. You might consider some tinctures to help with stress and anxiety, but don't wait. That's the number one thing moms do. Don't wait. Pay attention to it now and start nourishing your body. I have a freebie, the postpartum recovery checklist. So those are the first steps you'll take nourishing your body. Number 5, bloating and digestive issues. Now, if you've had a C-section, you've had major abdominal surgery with no physical therapy. Hear that again. You've had major abdominal surgery with probably no physical therapy. So there's a lot going on in your abdominal region. On top of that, there's so much stress, anxiety, insomnia that the gut health really takes a huge toll postpartum. So if you're feeling bloated, constipated, and having digestive issues, it could be due to something called leaky gut syndrome. Now, the 2 foods that may irritate you the most are dairy and gluten. So until we heal your gut with the 4R approach, then you may struggle with these digestive issues. Chamomile may help with the bloating, but there's also many botanicals you can take to soothe the leaky gut and really help you shed the baby weight and give you more energy. So keep that in mind. If you're struggling with bloating and digestive issues, we can heal that. This is not a sentence for life. We can fix that, and we're going to do that this year. Number 6, when your period returns, you might get something called PMDD, and I brought this up before. So what happened to me is I had anxiety, depression, and then when I was done breastfeeding, my monthly cycles were horrible. So even though I actually did better breastfeeding for the 3 weeks that I did, the moment I got off the breast, when I stopped breastfeeding, so many problems came in. So it's really important we nourish the body and pay attention to your cycle when you're done breastfeeding, or if you're bleeding now and breastfeeding, that you really pay attention to your cycles. Start writing down the symptoms that you're experiencing and know that there's herbal remedies that can help you. And the monthly dose of Advil is not great for your gut health, so just keep that in mind. So if you're having digestive issues, really bad PMS, you may have something called PMDD. Along with those symptoms are anger, really intense anger and depression. So just keep that in mind and be aware of it, that we can fix these things with herbal medicine. And last, hair loss. If you want to talk about hair loss more, let me know. But the hair loss could be due to your thyroid, could be due to stress, and this could happen 6 months postpartum. So just keep that in mind. After 6 months, 7 months, things might start turning around. But if you're experiencing hair loss right now, it is common, but it also may be due to stress. The number one thing you can do is add in the 1 daily tea, which I'll leave a link here below, the 1 daily tea, which is stinging nettles and milky oat tops, to start nourishing your body. Any symptoms you're having during the breastfeeding years is a cry for help. Your body is saying, I need something. So I want you to start paying attention to that. Start journaling, start thinking about what is happening in your body. And if you need help with something, let me know in the comment area below. At the same time, grab your ultimate postpartum recovery checklist to learn the exact exact supplements and herbal remedies that you can use that are safe during the breastfeeding years, along with Pilates exercises so that you can really understand what's going on in your body after childbirth. If you have any questions at all, let me know, and I will see you next week. Thank you.